Welcome to my laser room. My name's Mark, and I was sitting at my computer the other day, and I looked over and saw my hard drive enclosure. And I wanted to have this urge to laser engrave a pattern on it. And what this is, of course, is it's an enclosure for a 2.5-inch laptop hard drive. And I use this quite often for storage and for backing things up, and it's just nice to have. I got an extra hard drive that's in here. But I thought, wouldn't it be nice to actually laser engrave the internals of the hard drive, both the top and the bottom, on this? You can do something like this with a phone. If you have your cell phone, a lot of people have cases on them, but a lot of people don't. And you can laser engrave on the back of those as well, as most of them are metal. So what I did is I went in and found these two images here. So this is hard drive top. Here it is here. I just went and trimmed it out and increased the strength, the contrast of the image, just to make sure it would laser engrave nicely. And then this is the bottom of it. So I thought, that would be kind of cool to do. So what we'll do is we'll turn on the laser engraver. I'm using the xTool M1, and we'll get this started. Okay, so I've determined on this there is some branding on here. That is the top of it, and then of course the back of it has the USB that's tucked in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that. I'm going to place it away from me, the front away from me, and the top up. So now that we're in line with the machine, I'm going to jump over to Creative Space by xTool, and you can see the image here. Now, we want to measure the height of it. There is a laser that shoots down. I've placed this hard drive underneath the laser. So I'm going to quickly look here. Laser flat, so it's a flat surface I'm using. The thickness, I want to click Calculate before I actually bring the image in, because what happens is it can shift. So you get everything fine-tuned, and then it goes and it exceeded. Okay, see what we have there. We exceeded the height. It's not raised, no. Exceeded the maximum measurable thickness. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to reduce that. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to pull the bottom plate out of the machine. Now I do have the base. What it is, it's a honeycomb grill that has a couple different, I guess you could look at them as shelves where that honeycomb grill goes in. So it'll be replacing these blocks here, which is the standard setup of the M1. And it'll make it a little bit easier. I won't have to go all through this with the new machine. I will just open it up and I will drop the tray down one. So it is a little bit of a pain. You can do it, but it's always nice to have the flexibility of that honeycomb base. Okay, so we're back in the program here, and you can see the base plate is out. You can actually see the risers on the side. I took some lumber, some pieces of wood that I had kicking around, and I rose it. I rose it up to the point where it should work now. So if I go and calculate thickness, it's going to look at it. And it is still exceeding the maximum measurement. So I have found certain materials that can cause a problem. I should have tried this first. Masking tape. So some objects, especially metal, with the laser, it can throw the adjustments off. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape and put it directly over top of where the laser hits that drive. Okay, there it is. You can see my tape. You can't see the laser, but the laser is hitting it on the tape. I will hit measure again, and we'll wait. and it worked. So just keeping in mind, I've run into that before with certain materials, and I've fought with it for what seemed like forever. And then I thought, you know, what about the reflection properties of these materials we're using? And sure enough, throw tape on it, because measuring it, like you brought it up, you brought it down, what's going on? So a little hack to make sure that you get the good measure on items that may reflect or change the pattern of that laser. So I'm going to take that tape off, and then we will get the pattern started. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab an image, and this is the top. So this is the hard drive top that I'm going to use here. And zoom out. Oh, there it is up there. I'll grab a hold of that, bring it over. It is smaller than I thought, but ideally when you bring something in, it's better to be able to reduce it than enlarge it. I thought that my image was larger than that, but that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to take it. I know this is the front, this is the back here, and this is where our electrical is and our plug-ins that'll reflect the other side as well. So I'm just going to grab a hold of this and enlarge it and bring it up. All right, so you can see the case is actually larger than the hard drive because there's a little main board at the back here. I'm not going to bother with that. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line it up, probably a little smaller, because the top of the drive does, it's rounded along the edge that you can see here. So I don't want that to interfere. I'm going to set it probably around there. That is, bring it over a little bit with my arrow keys, just to kind of line things up. That looks pretty good. What I might do is just center it. So there, that looks about centered. Since the camera is placed at the back side of the machine, which is the front of my project, I find that you want to push it closer to the back side of the machine, your image, because of the way the camera is angled. So you can see here, you can actually see the front of the unit because that's the direction of the camera. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to mark it out. I'm going to frame it, which is down here. So it says framing complete. You want to press the button on the front of the machine. So we come over to the machine. Here it is. You can see it's kind of glowing. And I've done this before with the camera. It's a little hard to see with the camera. But the laser will come out, and it is going to go around. It actually looks pretty good. So I like the way that's set up. It's a little hard to catch with the camera because the head's moving and you've got to move the camera around. But it did square it out right where I want it. Looks good. So I'm going to click Framing Complete. And now what I want to do is I've got my thickness. It's not raised. So sometimes if there's on prisms, you would put that information in here. I'm not using triangular prisms. So I'm going to click on here, and it's going to give me a bunch of information here. So what I want to do is I want to engrave it, so that's good. And my settings. So this is where, you know, experience, as well as looking at places like social media. Facebook has wonderful groups on there, and there's a vast amount of information. What I do, and this is something, if you're doing projects like regular projects where you're doing Yeti mugs, for example, you know, you want to get into engraving and personalizing Yeti mugs. What I did is this mug here is just a test mug. So it's a used mug that I picked up, and I ran a test pattern or a test grid, which you can see. Maybe out of focus, maybe in, but it's there. So this gives you your power rating from 0 to 100, and your speed from 50 to 200. And you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So I'm going to use this pattern. I think the Yeti mug is a little thicker material than what the paint is on that drive. So I'm going to use the top corner here, which looks good on the Yeti mug, and it is a 200 speed by 100 power. So we'll go back into here, and this is, we're just going to do manual settings. We're going to do 100 with a speed of 200. And that down below here, you'll see bitmap, grayscale. We'll leave it at that. Lines per centimeter, I'm going to go a little bit tighter on that to get a little bit more detail. I am going to go probably around 160, just to make sure that I get a lot of detail on that. And that's pretty much it. So we are good. We have our settings. We're engraved. And we're ready to process. So we've got the process button down here in the corner. We'll hit this. It will prepare our preview. And there it is there. And we'll go ahead and we'll hit start. All right, so we're ready to go. And again, it says press that button on the front of the machine. So I'll hit that button, and it's probably going to take... it's going to take a little while going, because it's got to go back and forth all the way down. Let me guess. I say it's probably going to take an hour, 45 minutes. We'll see how close I am. All right, we are all done. There's the laser, by the way. So it looks pretty good. Okay, yeah, actually that looks really nice. So there it is. There's the the pattern. Now it is a little dusty and dirty. So what I usually take is some isopropyl alcohol and then just clean off the dust. And then what you can do is to polish it up to make it look nice and shiny. You can use like a magic eraser, works well for that. So we just got some isopropyl on here. And we will just give it a nice little clean. Actually, we probably don't have to polish it because it looks like the metal underneath isn't actually a shiny metal. So different types of metals react differently. So I could take it looks great the way it is. I'm pretty happy with it. But you can take a magic eraser here and give it a shot. Let's just take a look and see what it does. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's shining up, but that's fine. With the Yeti mug, of course, using the magic eraser will clean it up. No, I'm pretty happy with that, even though it wasn't full size. I had to actually enlarge it. But that's just something, a good tip is to make the image larger. So I usually use Photoshop, and I will actually increase the size of my canvas larger than what it would be on here. I didn't do that obviously with this, but it worked out fine. So I will go ahead and do the other side. If you are interested in the xTool M1, S1, P2, D1, D1 Pro, or any of their other machines, I will leave a affiliate link down in the description. You can click on that, and if you do end up purchasing something, it helps me out here, and it helps creating these videos. So I'll go ahead, do the exact same thing. I'll line it up, put it on the back. It actually only took 23 minutes. I was thinking, because I changed it from 100 lines to 160 lines, giving it that extra extra contrast or extra clarity, that it would take a little bit longer. So it actually didn't take for that size of a laser. All right, we'll do the other one and see how that turns out. Okay, there it is. There is the back side of it. So we've got both sides, and just goes to show how you can customize something. I saw it sitting there. It sits on my desk all the time, and it's just this black little case. So I thought, wouldn't it be neat if I can customize it a little bit? So your Yeti mugs, your cell phones, your hard drive cases. I've even done some desktop computers. So the side panel of the desktop computer, I've gone and done some different graphics on there just to customize it. So yeah, woodworking is one thing you can do, cutting wood, engraving wood, but there's a lot of other things you can do with this equipment too. They're fun. So if you're interested in any other videos on this subject, I will put a couple up here, and we will see you next video. Take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.